When the cops showed up, Sophia Wilson still had purple stains running down her face. It wasn't makeup, it wasn't a prank, it was proof. Proof that the self-proclaimed queen of Maplewood Estates, the woman who ruled our neighborhood with fines and fake smiles, had finally been caught, red well purple-handed. I never thought I'd end up building dye bombs in my garage just to get justice, but when the law fails, sometimes you have to make your own. I moved into Maplewood 6 months after my divorce. I wanted quiet mornings, white fences, neighbors who waved instead of argued. For a while, I actually had that. My daughter visited on weekends, the old man down the street watered his azaleas every morning, and I'd sit on the porch with coffee thinking maybe peace wasn't a myth after all, until my packages started disappearing. At first, I thought it was a shipping mistake. A scarf I ordered for my daughter's birthday gone. I blamed the courier. Then another box vanished, and then my prescription meds. The third time, something snapped. I wasn't paranoid, but I wasn't stupid either. I bought a doorbell camera, installed it that night, and waited. A few mornings later, the footage came in. I opened it expecting nothing, maybe a random kid or porch pirate. But there she was. Sophia Wilson, the HOA president in her pastel pink blazer, strutting up my porch like she owned the damn street. She looked left-right, then casually picked up my box and walked away smiling, like it was hers all along. I watched that clip at least 10 times. Disbelief gave way to anger, and anger hardened into something colder. Sophia wasn't just some nosy neighbor. She was the kind of person who hid tyranny behind community rules. She fined people for leaving their trash cans out 10 minutes too long. She banned non-neutral paint colors. Everyone hated her, but no one dared say it out loud. Because in Maplewood Estates, the HOA wasn't a committee, it was a kingdom. And Sophia ruled it like a dictator in pearls. I showed the footage to George, my neighbor across the street. He used to be a cop before a bad knee took him off duty. He watched the video with that steady, unreadable expression only cops have. "That's her," he said quietly. "You sure you want to poke that hornet's nest, John? She writes the rules around here. I told him I just want my stuff back." He sighed. "Then you better be ready for a war." I filed a police report anyway. The officer at the desk listened, half interested, half apologetic. "We can't prove intent," he said. "She might have thought she was collecting misdelivered mail." I laughed in disbelief. "You're kidding, right? She's taken 4 boxes." He just shrugged. "Civil matter. Maybe file with small claims court." Civil matter, those 2 words stuck like a splinter. The next morning, a bright yellow paper was pinned to my door. HOA violation. Apparently my mailbox finish wasn't community approved. 2 days later, another one. My grass was too tall. Then another for leaving my hose visible. Each notice stamped with Sophia's perfect cursive signature. Message received, she was untouchable, and I was her new target. The neighborhood Facebook group started buzzing. Blurry porch photos, vague complaints about missing deliveries. People suspected, but no one named names. Sophia had everyone scared. She could deny patio permits, delay roof repairs, slap fines for decor violations. Fear is the best armor a bully can wear, and she wore it well. I started keeping a log, dates, times, missing items. I became obsessed, scrolling through camera footage at night, replaying every frame of her smug little smirk. I told myself maybe if I had enough proof someone would act. But no one did. Weeks passed. Sophia kept smiling at me during HOA meetings like she hadn't stolen a thing. That kind of arrogance does something to you. It makes you feel small, invisible, powerless. Then one night, sitting in my dark living room, I started wondering if maybe I was the problem. Maybe I'd moved into the wrong place. Maybe I was overreacting. I thought about selling the house, packing up, starting over somewhere that didn't have bylaws about mailbox colors. But then George came by with a 6-pack and said, "You look like a man about to give up." I told him, "Maybe I am." He laughed. "Then you're letting her win. You want justice, you need proof she can't wash off." I don't know why that line stuck with me, but it did. Proof she can't wash off. That night I went down a rabbit hole, videos of glitter bombs, stink traps, anti-theft devices. Funny but temporary. Glitter washes off. Stink fades. I needed something permanent. Then I stumbled on an article about dye packs, the kind banks use. The moment a thief opens the bag, the pack explodes, staining their skin bright purple for days. It was poetic. Sophia wanted control. Fine. Let's see her control this. I called my old college buddy Brian, now a security engineer. He laughed when I told him the story. "You're insane," he said, "but I love it. Can't send you real dye packs, but I'll teach you how to make a DIY version." For the next 2 hours, he walked me through the chemistry UV reactive pigment glycerin, a binding agent. When we hung up, I had a blueprint. My garage became a lab. My first test exploded early, turned my arm violet for a week. I didn't care. I was on to something. By the weekend, the prototype was ready. A small capsule inside a decoy box labeled Luxury Spa Products. Innocent, tempting, deadly in the poetic sense. I rigged it with a delay trigger so it wouldn't go off until halfway open. Then I waited. Sophia's theft schedule was predictable: late morning between 10 and 11. Always the same window. Thursday, 10:43 a.m. Right on time, her spotless white SUV rolled into view. I watched from behind the blinds. She walked up the porch, phone in hand, scanning left and right like she was doing community service. Then she smiled, God, that smug smile, and took the box. I didn't move. I just sipped my coffee and waited. 20 minutes later, my phone buzzed. George. Dude, he said she's purple. I looked out the window and there she was. Sophia Wilson, standing on her lawn, screaming into her phone, covered head to toe in streaks of electric violet and gold. Her perfect pink blazer was ruined. Neighbors peeked through curtains. Some filmed. George stood on his porch laughing. You wanted undeniable proof, he yelled. Guess you got it. I bit my lip so hard trying not to laugh that I tasted blood. By evening, the entire neighborhood knew. The Facebook group was on fire. People posted memes nicknaming her the Purple Queen. She tried to delete the posts, but screenshots never die. The next morning she posted a statement. An unfortunate act of vandalism occurred yesterday involving a tampered package. Please report suspicious activity. The comments destroyed her. Funny, the only suspicious activity is you stealing people's mail. Hope the dye's HOA approved. I didn't need to say a word. The truth spoke for itself. 2 days later, a lawyer showed up at my door. Her husband. He handed me a letter intent to sue for chemical assault. I almost laughed. Tell her to watch my porch footage, I said. She stole from me. The dye was her doing. He just muttered something about defamation and left. I sent everything, videos, timestamps, receipts, to the police. When the report came back, it was short self-inflicted incident, no charges. Sophia tried to hold an emergency HOA meeting to address community misconduct. I went. So did half the neighborhood. She showed up in sunglasses and a scarf, but the purple stains still showed under the fluorescent lights. I have been the victim of a malicious attack, she began. George interrupted. You mean karma? The crowd laughed. Her jaw tightened. If this continues, I'll have to step down. Do it, someone yelled. You already stole enough. Then Mrs. Chen, the sweet old lady from down the street, stood up holding a folder. You took my granddaughter's birthday present, she said quietly. You said you'd return it. You never did. The room went silent. Sophia stammered, That's not true. Mrs. Chen opened her folder, emails, receipts, timestamps. It is. And then, like a dam breaking, everyone started talking. Missing gifts, stolen meds, fake violations. Even the treasurer stood up with paperwork showing missing HOA funds, $57,000 unaccounted for. The crowd gasped. Sophia went pale beneath the purple. Her husband tried to shout defamation, but no one listened. Mrs. Langford, the vice chair, slammed the gavel. Vote of no confidence, she said. Hand shot up, nearly unanimous. Even Sophia's secretary raised hers. Sophia pounded the table, purple streaks smearing across the wood. You can't do this. I am the HOA. You or someone said. The room erupted in applause. That was the night her empire fell. Reporters showed up the next morning. The headline read, "Purple Justice in Maplewood Estates." Photos of Sophia leaving the meeting, scarf pulled high, violet stains still visible. Her husband's law firm dropped him. She faced charges for mail theft and embezzlement. The police called it a pattern of abuse of power. I called it karma. Weeks later, movers came for her furniture. I watched from my porch as she stood by her SUV, hair tied back, sleeves covering the last faint marks. For a second our eyes met. No words, no smirk this time. Just exhaustion. She got in the car and drove away, the white paint around the door handle still stained purple, a scar she'd never erase. Maplewood changed after that. The new HOA president, Mrs. Chen of all people, banned petty fines and installed shared package lockers. Neighbors started smiling again. George took over as safety coordinator, though safety mostly meant grilling and poker nights. The fear that used to hang over the place, it vanished. People laughed again, spoke again, lived again. A few weeks later I got an envelope in the mail. No return address. Inside a note in neat cursive, "You were right. Some stains don't fade. SW." I sat there for a long time just staring at it. I didn't feel victorious. I just felt calm, like something in the air had finally cleared. Because in the end this wasn't about packages or paint colors or even revenge. It was about control, how one person's need for it can poison an entire community, and how standing up even when no one else will can break the spell. I didn't need the law to fix Maplewood. I just needed a plan and a little purple dye. Justice doesn't always wear a badge. Sometimes it wears a smile and stains that never wash off.